Hey everybody, welcome to TradeScope. My name is Luis Garcia and I'm a part-time trader, and this is my deep dive series where I pick one stock that I've been looking at lately and talk a little bit about it. So this stock for this deep dive is NNE. It is Nano Nuclear Energy. I've traded it in the past if you followed my channel, and it's been making quite a big move lately, and it's back on my radar. So it's back on my radar for a few reasons. So let me start with just a basic rundown of all the numbers. So right now it's trading, it closed trading on Friday at $44.51. It has a float of 27.36 million, which is really not that high of a float considering its price, right? That means there's only 27.36 million shares able to be bought and sold at any one time. Something else that's important to note when talking about the float is the short float percentage. So 17% of those, 17.12% of those shares are all short. I believe it was higher the last time I traded. It was like somewhere in the 20s, but that's still pretty high short float. That's almost 1 in 5 shares are sold short. They don't have a listed earnings date with trade ideas. Low debt compared to their cash, which is good. Let's see what else we want to look at. Market cap is 1.6 billion, and that's about it right now for the numbers. I'll go over the news in a couple minutes. Just want to look at the profile here. So it's a power generation company. It's in energy. They do nuclear nano. They do nano nuclear technology, which means they do micro reactors. And the next question really is why are they going up? What's the deal with them? So recently, in the past couple days, they have a couple things have happened. The first thing is that they got a patent for a micro reactor. So if we read through this, Nano Nuclear Energy shares climbed Thursday after the nuclear energy company said it acquired patents that will protect its developing microreactor technology. Shares of the company were recently up 19% to $43.42 and earlier reached $46.52, a 52-week high. The stock has climbed more than 74% this year. So speaking of climbing 74%, I was trading it way back when it was in the 20s. You can still see I have my technical charts still set up. So looks like it continued that trend that I originally set up. Way out to there, even further up really. Let's extend this even more. Nope, that's not going to work. So never mind. Let's keep that where it was. But yeah, as you can see, I've been trading it since September of last year, in and out, just making small swing trades here and there. But yeah, it really recently caught my attention because, as you know, we've had a pretty big shift in American politics. The Trump administration is now in office, and Trump was on the Joe Rogan podcast during the election season talking about nuclear technology. I think with more lax regulations in American business, I think with the country exploring alternative clean energy, nuclear is a no-brainer. And if you got a company that can do micro reactors safely, again, no-brainer. That's a game changer in the nuclear technology field when it comes to power generation. And you can see pretty much since the inauguration, right? Let's see what day that was that it really started to take off. That was the 13th. So about a week before the inauguration, but the inauguration was when it really picked up steam, right? The day Trump took office and he signed a bunch of executive orders, I don't remember any one of those being particularly about energy. I believe there were some. But I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? You can see this thing has just rocketed. And something else to note that's important is check out where it bottomed out. Bottomed out right at this 20 line, right at the, here, let me get a better doodle out here. It bottomed out right at $20, right? So that's a good sign. That tells us technically that $20 is a solid support for this stock. It's struggled at $30 in the past, right? So you can see here, I already have a line over here at $30 from months ago, but you can see it kind of popped up above 30, dropped back down, went back into this range, popped up above 30 again, went back into this range, and now it's just absolutely ripped past 30. So maybe 30 becomes the new resistance, right? Maybe that's the case. Maybe 30 now is the new place that it will test. Because I do think it kind of took off really quickly. And it's probably going to it's going to look for some new lows, right? It's going to look for a new resistance and find where that is. Maybe it won't do it right away. Maybe it'll continue higher. But that topping tail candle is a good indicator that over the next few days, it's probably going to test to the downside. And that is probably going to be the perfect opportunity to get in for another rip higher, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for in this stock, is a chance to get in on a nice dip, right? Going to have to keep an eye on the volume, keep an eye on the MACD and on the RSI, make sure all the technicals line up, but that's what I'm looking for. I also want to see that short interest stay fairly high, right? So let's keep reading here. The New York-based company said Thursday that it had acquired an array of patents, allowing it to protect its portable and modular microreactor designs. The company has a handful of microreactors and reactors in active development and is focused on reactors that can be used in remote locations for residential, commercial, shipping, medical, and other uses. Again, a game changer in the energy sector, right? Absolute game changer. I don't think any company, there aren't many companies doing this this sort of thing right now. So if we, if we were to take a look at its competitors, there probably aren't many out there, and they're probably not doing, making this sort of progress with patents. So let's keep reading. Nano Nuclear said it has also obtained related international patents issued in Canada, Russia, Japan, China, and South Korea. Again, a game changer. Benchmark analyst Subhash Chandra noted Thursday that Kronos and Loki are new additions for Nano Nuclear. Kronos has a higher technology readiness level than the rest of the portfolio, Chandra added, and it is the first small reactor to begin a formal licensing review with the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commissions. Canada's struggling right now with energy production and everything else. It's basically forced to sell all of its energy to the U.S. At pretty much whatever price we want, because of just the way that Trudeau's policies have affected them. But anyways, last part here. The addition of these patents issued in the United States and internationally will help to safeguard our technologies as we continue to develop, refine, and advance our nuclear energy systems toward demonstration, regulatory licensing, and eventual commercialization, said Nano Nuclear founder and chairman J.U. So another big thing to note here, they're not selling anything yet, right? They're still in the development phase. They're still in the licensing phase. They haven't commercialized anything yet. So it's a fairly new company, right? May of last year is when they IPO'd. So there's a lot of room to grow here. There's also a lot of risk, okay? And you could see that in the past stock price, right? Big troughs and valleys, or big troughs and peaks, right? So you got to be getting into this in that mindset. I do think, like I said, if it pulls back and tests this $30 line and it holds, that's a great entry point. Even if it dips a little bit below that, great entry point. That's kind of what I'm looking for with this stock. I think nanonuclear technology, it's something that's been trading. Like I said, I've been trading it for the past few months. I've had my eye on it. It's had great days. It's had days of pullbacks. You can see that by looking at all of by looking at the chart for the past few months, which makes it a great chart to trade, right? Also makes it good if you're into longer term investing, maybe throwing dollar cost averaging into it, another great option. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking with nanonuclear. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on it. It also does trade options. I might start trading some options. Haven't really figured out what type of strategy I'm going to use. I do want to go kind of read back through my options trading for dummies book and see if I can come up with a fancy trading strategy. But right now, if I were to just off the cuff think of one, I think maybe a $30 put over the next few weeks would probably be a good idea. You got to have that stop though. If it breaks 45, I'd be out of that put. You can also leverage that put, right? You can buy 100 shares and then sell a call. That's another good way to do it. Or you can let's see if I remember this correctly. You can short the stock down to 30 and then sell a put to cover you that way, right? So I'm going to be looking into maybe some fancy options techniques, just because I did make some good money on this trading options in the past. So it's definitely an option, no pun intended. But yeah, this is on my watch list for the next few days. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. I might just, like I said, get in if I see that baby get back into the 30s. But I could be wrong. It could just continue higher. But something about how this trend line I drew traces, I don't know that that's going to be the case. I think that, plus looking at the topping tail, plus looking at the volume in the MACD, I think eventually it's going to run out of steam and it's going to have to come back to earth and find a new support level. We'll see if there's any other interesting things about that's going on with nanonuclear technology. So here's another news release from 11 days ago. Nanonuclear Energy announced the rebranding of its recently acquired patented pylon transportable reactor platform, which will now be known as Loki. The Loki MMR is a portable nuclear reactor designed for versatility in application and development. Designed to provide between 1.5 megawatt equivalent, I don't know what E stands for, and 5 megawatt, again, equivalent, I'm guessing. I'll have to look that up later. It is tailored to specific applications ranging from remote terrestrial, marine, and space deployments. Its transportability via road, rail, sea, and air ensures adaptability for diverse deployment scenarios and supports scalability through interconnected systems to meet greater energy demands. While nanonuclear will explore different applications for Loki MMR, it is anticipated that the Loki MMR will particularly complement nanonuclear's previously announced efforts to apply nuclear energy in space exploration. So again, this company has a lot of promise, man. They got tons of applications for this thing, potentially military applications too, right? When you're talking about remote terrestrial, marine, and space deployments, the military is not off the table. So you never know if this thing gets a military contract. Another good reason maybe to invest in it, maybe more long term, is if you're sitting on this thing and it gets a military contract, it's definitely gonna skyrocket. That's just always the case with stocks like this. So again, that's kind of my plan going forward. It's definitely on my watch list. Let me know if you guys are looking at NNE, what your thoughts are on it. If I missed something, if you've been following it and you're really excited about the company, leave it down in the comments. I'd love to hear more about it. I'll be doing more research on it on my own. And that's all I got for my deep dive. So thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.